It's my first time and I'm very happy and excited to be here. It's a beautiful city and it's one of the biggest cities in the world. It's a classic, you know. I couldn't live without coming in Moscow at least once in my own life, so I'm very happy. I have a friend, a training partner, who's fighting on the card of ACB, and I'm coming to corner him. His name is Yukinori Akazawa. He's from mostly a judo background, and he trained also a few years in karate. And well, he's a young, very promising athlete. He's very good. He migrated to Montreal, Canada to train with us at TriStar Gym. Yeah, so we've been training with each other for a few years now, and he did an amazing progress. I've heard of ACB before. I saw some fight of ACB before. Yes, of course. It's a major organization, and it's growing very fast. They're all over the world. USA, they came in the United States and in England, and now they're talking about going to Japan. So my friend Yuki is very excited. So it gives him an extra motivation to win his fight. I think it's a good concept, but less show. It depends what you mean. Less show. I mean, I would say more respect. Yeah, more traditional martial art. Respect the tradition of the purists of the martial artists. You don't get into a dojo, whether if you're in judo, karate, taekwondo, and swearing or like talking trash about people. You know, if you get in. When I remember, I used to do karate from Kyokushin background. When I get into the dojo. Us, and when I say us to someone, us mean yes, us mean from the heart. You know, if I say something, that's mean you have my word and I'm gonna do it. When I say us, that's what I mean. And in life, unfortunately, a lot of people that doesn't have that concept. They say something, but they're gonna try to do something else, and or they don't have the respect or things like that. I understand it's a business for a lot of them. They wanna use that as a tools to elevate themselves, to separate them from the rest. There's this idea of that love me, hate me, but don't ignore me, so to speak. We've seen it through the years and in all kinds of fighting sport and boxing. At the time, I remember Muhammad Ali, one of my great idols. When he was competing, he was hated by a lot of guys. A lot of people in the United States did not like him because of his ideology, you know. But he was loved by many, you know. So hate me, love me, but don't ignore me. I think that's what makes the sport popular, or the fighters. They need not only good fighters, but characters. I like the concept of less show, more fight. But I think in the sense they mean more respect, more fight, you know. Yeah, Arthur Beterbiev is a friend of mine. He migrated to Montreal, and yeah, he's an amazing boxer. I think he's in a tough position because he is so good. And he doesn't have a lot of fight, but everybody in the division has so much to lose fighting him. So a lot of the contenders in the division are afraid to fight him because they know who he is, they know how good he is. But he unfortunately for him, it's hard for him to get the good opportunity. I'm sure one day he will be world champion, no doubt in my mind, because he's got all the tools and the talent in boxing to be one of the best. In the game. No, we haven't trained with each other. Even when we speak with each other, we have a friend in common. His name is Damir, that is there to help translate the message. But we like to talk about life, talk about fighting, and sometimes we go eat at the restaurant and stuff. And he's a very, very nice guy. I like to hang out with other great fighters because it allowed me to learn from them, the way they prepare themselves, their mindset, And no matter which combat sport you do, which is boxing, wrestling, sambo, judo, or mixed martial art, it's something that we call the art of war. So we can all learn from each other from that point of view. I've started working with Freddie Roach a few years ago. Boxing was, I would say, the discipline that I was a little bit lacking behind. So I decided to start working with the best guy, the best trainer I know in the game. It's Freddie Roach, and for my upcoming fight, he will be in my corner for my fight with Michael Bisping. So I will make sure everything is well done for to have the best performance possible. Well, it was a lot of problem with the negotiation. It took a lot of time. I needed to have some time off, but unfortunately, if I could, I would have come back earlier. There was some issues with management and UFC, but Freddie is represented by an agent called Nick Khan, and who helped us in the negotiation with in between CAA and WME IMG, because these are, I would say, some of the two biggest sport agency in the world. So they might sometimes compete with each other. But we had a guy, a man named Nick Khan, who made I would say, the bridge and made the deal done. So I'm very happy for that. It was I would say, like a team work, you know. Not only Nick Khan, but it was a lot of guys in the process too. Philippe Lepage, Rodolphe Beaulieu, but Freddie also that introduced Nick Khan. It will help us seal the deal. I never be interested in moving up in the division because I had a lot of work to do. Every time I finished a fight, I had another challenger to coming at me. And I had also, if you remember, I had an ACL, I blew up my ACL in my knee, so I had an injury. So I took some time off, so I had to come back and right away defend the title again. Also, one of the reasons is the weight. I'm not a big welterweight. I'm an average middle-sized welterweight. Now that I have some time off, I took some time to gain a little bit of weight. So I'll make sure that it's well done. The problem is, I've never been afraid to compete at 185. It's not to fight at 185. The problem is when you train, you need to train with bigger guy. And in order to train with bigger guy, sometimes it has more chance to have injuries. So that's the thing. But now is the perfect opportunity for me to do it. I can add some time off. I took some time, gained some weight. I'm still putting on some weight. And of course, Michael Bisping will be bigger than me, but I believe that will be the only advantage that he will have. It will be his size. I believe technically, tactically, athletically, I got all the edge on him. It doesn't matter if he's taller and bigger than me. The only difference that it's gonna make, it's when he's gonna hit the floor, it's gonna make a bigger boom. There is no date yet because we have to go through a lot of process with the USADA, the anti-doping testing. So before we're clear to fight, we have to go through that process and some other stuff going on. But soon we should have a date. I think he's lying, and he wants to fight me, and I want to fight him. And this fight, we're gonna give him more money, and well, it comes down to his decision. But if you want to do it, I'm down to do it. That's who I'm getting ready for. If things change, I'm gonna have to turn around and do a quick turnaround, but no problem. I can do it. But he's the man. He's the one that has the belt. For me, he's the highest guy, the highest stock right now, and I always aim for the higher guy. I think it will be after the summer. Yes. Well, it's a very ambitious plan. I have a plan in the back of my head, but I'm not going to talk about it right now. The reason is this. I'm not a talker, I'm a doer. A lot of people, they need to talk to promote themselves. Everybody knows who's who here. I'm not a new fighter. They know who I am. My fight talk by themselves. My resume talk by himself. It's going to depend how. It's going to depend of what's going to happen and how it's going to happen when I fight Michael Bisping. And that's what when this fight will be finished, I will go where to reorient my career.
So,
but it could be anything. It's a lot of opportunity. No, I think he's a great fighter. I think he's a very great fighter. He's a very charismatic fighter. He's the biggest seller in the sport of all time. He's the biggest draw. But I think now he's going to fight Floyd Mayweather, I've heard, in a boxing match. I think it will happen. I know Floyd will never fight Conor in a mixed martial art fight, but Conor could fight Floyd in a boxing match. I don't think he's going to win. I do not think he's going to win at all, but I think he wants to do it. He's going to make a lot of money out of it. He's going to lose. I'm pretty sure he's going to lose if it happens. The odds are not in his favor. But I believe if he managed maybe to survive, it could be like a win for him, because after he's going to start talking, he's like, hey, I've stepped into your game, why don't you step into mine right now? So I think it could be a good, it depends what is not only the result of how it's done, you know. So it all depends how the things plays out.